I am so worthy. My grapefruit, a little sparkling water, okay. So that's what I'll be sipping on today. That's my drink of choice. First, I want to start off by saying happy November, okay? I also want to say happy Jupiter in Cancer. I want to just start off this video with some astrology on what the month of November is going to not only look like, you know, astrologically, but what it's gonna feel like energetically. Okay, I want to be transparent, so I'm gonna go ahead and get my little check-in and my update out the way so that you can know how I'm doing, how I'm feeling. I am outside, so if you guys hear a lot of noise, I'm gonna do my best to edit around it and edit it out, but it is what it is, guys. A lot of times my spirits like me to be outside. They like me to do these channeled messages and readings outside if I can, so that's what I'm trying to do. All right, I may talk about shadow work, but we're not working on shadows, we're working on reflections. Okay, so if you're following along with this content, you need to be very clear that this content is ultimately to help you build a better relationship with yourself. And then when you have a better relationship with yourself, you can then have a better relationship with other people, with community. When you know yourself better, you're not going to take everything personally. When you know yourself better, you're not going to be looking for the worst outcome in situations. It's just going to help you a lot with your relationships. Relationships are the number one thing that we need to survive in this life. And believe it or not, you did not come to this planet to just go through life all on your own with no help, with no joy, with no love, with nobody to share the ups and downs with. Okay, and that's actually what I've come here today to talk to you about. It's so beautiful how when I jump to another message, spirit moves me right back on track. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Holy Spirit. I'm coming here. I'm all dolled up, okay? And I'm coming to you guys with the romance, okay? My most powerful form of magic is authenticity. In the collective, I've just heard a lot of chatter, and it's come up to me that there are some love and relationship issues that are going to be brought more and more to the surface as we get deeper and deeper into the month of November, okay? And typically this happens every year. Now, before I go any further, let me give you my update because I didn't do that. One of the last videos I uploaded here to this platform was actually about being mindful or learning how to flow over force. And this is super important for the fall season. What Spirit is showing me personally is that this is not a season that you're going to just force your way through, think your way through. Fall is not that season. Naturally, fall already kind of has this energy of slowing down, but it's going to be amplified in fall 2025 because we have so much water in the sky, okay? Scorpio transits have kicked off with, I believe, Mercury and Mars in Scorpio, if I'm not mistaken. And we have Saturn in Pisces, which, hey guys, that's locked in. I just want you to know that's locked in for about 2 to 3 years, okay? But we've got our Saturn in Pisces retrograde. We've got Jupiter retrograde. But because Jupiter is retrograde, this has made Jupiter go into Cancer. Imagine that you've got the normal scheduled programming of Scorpio season, but you have Saturn in Pisces, then you also have Jupiter in Cancer. You've got all water signs covered, dominating the sky right now. And so what this means is that a lot of emotions are going to come up. You might feel uncomfortable this month. You might feel overwhelmed this month. You might not be able to think or push your way or force your body to feel something different. And I just want to give you quickly some tools that you can use to work with this really heavy energy that I have been experiencing and working through, honestly, since the beginning of October. Guys, October was a challenging month for me, not literally, because nothing out of the ordinary happened to me. There wasn't anything significantly bad or wrong about the month of October, but it was just this energetically heavy, sluggish month. Like, I could literally feel my body slowing down. And there were days where I just felt like doing absolutely nothing. And that's really, really difficult when my 2025 has been a year of drive. If you go back into my earlier videos where I talk about being on social media hiatus, and taking a break from content creation and everything, what I also talk about is starting off this year really frustrated and kind of angry. And so naturally I wanted to do something about it. I wanted to make changes in my life, and that's kind of been what this year has been about, being the change that I want to see for myself. And even if that's not a grandiose change, it is something small that I'm doing in my day-to-day life that elevates it and puts me in the right energy. All that to say, when you have a driven year and then you get to that last quarter and your mind starts slowing down, your body starts slowing down, you literally start to feel the weight of 2025. Like, wow, we still in the same year? Oh my gosh, so much has happened. And it kind of starts mentally and physically catching up to you, right? Or at least it did for me. I didn't feel depressed. I didn't feel necessarily sad. So it was odd, because usually when I have those type of symptoms, I'm going through, something, right? And it's like, no, I'm actually okay. I'm actually doing fine. But I just don't feel like doing anything, and it's just the energy. So all of that to say is, if you are feeling an energetic change, if you are feeling something that you can't quite put your finger on, but it's overwhelming, right? I need you to tune into that. I need you to listen to your body, and I need you to just be present with that feeling. Don't be so quick to say, oh, I need to get my tail up and do something with myself. I need to stop laying around, or why am I taking so long? That's cool. But the end of this ending 2025, and especially November, it's going to really be a challenge between you, like what you want to do, what your mind wants, and what your body, what your spirit, what your soul wants. The body is a different part of intelligence that we don't often talk about or really get too much acquainted with. And yes, our mind has great things, and our mind is amazing. And without the mind, we can't have the body, right? But the body holds a lot of weight, and the body holds a deep connection with our roots, with our ancestors, with our honorable spirits and dishonorable ones. But it's all to say that November is not a month to ignore your feelings. November is not a month to push things under the rug. November is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity for the collective to really open up your heart. Really get the heart healing that you know you need. When I look back through the content that I've done over the course of 2025, a lot of it had this undertone and this message about healing the heart. And so I want you to know you're not going to leave out of this 2025 experience without healing something in your heart that is holding you back from your future, that's holding you back from this next level that you're going to tap into. Because remember, guys, I said that we're about to open a new book. We're about to walk into a number 10 year, and number 9 is, yes, things coming around, but number 10 is the end. So what Spirit is saying going into this month of November is that you're not going to be able to really end that karmic cycle. You're not really going to be able to walk into that new book. You're not going to be able to elevate any further if you don't release what you need to within your heart space. And I don't know exactly what that is for you. I like to think of myself as a walking heart chakra, okay? You know, the heart space isn't all love and light, despite how popular spirituality and New Age may make it seem. The heart space is equally about protecting yourself as much as it's about accepting and loving yourself and others. So that same capacity, that same fierceness that we can have to love and embrace others, we also have to have that same tenacity when it comes to protecting ourselves, rejecting things that are not for us, that are not equally yoked, that are not aligned with us in the physical or the spiritual. You know, the heart is a space of truth. It's a space of balance and harmony, and there may be something within you that is out of harmony. There may be some truths that maybe keep coming up and that are undeniable and unignorable. Ending this year, it's a time to face that. It's a time to open up. It's a time to be vulnerable and to not run. You don't have to, this month, you don't have to run from your feelings. Take a moment to sit with them. Take a moment to connect with the emotion. Connect with your body. Really listen. Because when you do this, you're tapping into not just your ancestors, but you're also tapping into the spirit of the divine feminine, the great mother, that goddess energy. And whether you're male or female, you know, yes, especially my women, but even men, when you allow yourself to fully just be present and feel for a moment, you're gonna move different. You're gonna move different. And it's actually going to probably enhance your masculine. But it comes with pausing with that feminine first. So, throughout this video, I'm just gonna put some random affirmations in here Okay, so we can get into our subconscious baggie. Okay, all right, I want to get a positive message just to kick us off, okay? Because right, what I'm doing in this video is I'm really just kind of having a conversation, dropping off some downloads, not really too focused on anything except the heart and love, because that's what the hot topic is for November, guys. Okay, that's why I'm giving you, you know, love spell baddie, okay? Giving you the blues, or, you know, the violets. So guys, let's get a positive message just to, you know, just something, a beautiful, beautiful, encouraging, light message to open up the month of November, to open up this, to open up the month of November. Okay, so 2 cards jumped out, and I might do a third. Okay, but the first card, it says boom. Can y'all see it? It says the first step is taken. You have asked for help. Okay, so I don't know who needs to see this. Okay, I don't know who needs to see that, but what I'm getting from this card is that some of us out here in the collective, we have taken measures beyond our comfort zone. Okay, whether that is to accomplish a goal, or, you know, get help with a task, or get that healing that we really need, get that help that we really need, get those resources that we really need. We have taken it a step further, and in a lot of my readings this year, I've been talking about not being afraid to ask for help and admit when you don't know. Like, sometimes things are just beyond our experience and beyond our understanding, and it's okay to pull in a third party who can really enlighten you, because you're only blocking yourself if you continue confusing your ego for intellect and wisdom. Sometimes it's just not that. Like, sometimes you're not that wise, you're not that great, and you just need help, and that's okay. So what Spirit is confirming is that you've done the right thing. So if you're seeing this and you are walking into the month of November, and you are maybe in a space of doubt, maybe you feel a little discouraged, maybe you're wondering if you're on the right path this year, or if you're making the right decisions in this moment, and Spirit is saying, as long as you're being honest and you're asking for help in those moments where you don't necessarily feel so confident, you're gonna get constant confirmation on the path that you're taking. This is also what I'm getting is, this is also something that Spirit is just trying to say, like, if you haven't asked for help and you need it, this is kind of confirmation telling you, again, it's okay to get help. It's okay to bring a third party in. It's okay to ask questions if you feel confused or insecure about something. Okay, yeah, you know, even though Jupiter is not in Gemini anymore, what Jupiter and Gemini was really helping us with, and you can tap into my last video, it was really helping us to learn how to ask questions again, and to stop fearing the act of asking questions, because sometimes we don't ask questions because we think we're gonna look dumb, or we think we're gonna be, you know, I don't know, over communicating or something, and we just need to get back to asking questions. Like, sometimes the more questions you ask, the more information you're gonna get, and you can save yourself some time and energy too, just by opening your mouth. Okay, let's move on. I've got another card that says always in motion in reverse. Okay, always in motion, but it is in reverse. Okay, so what I'm getting with this card is that, again, I'm giving you guys some positive uplifting messages to open up the month of November. What I'm getting with this message is that you may not be conscious of the ways that things are moving around you, but there's always motion, there's always changes happening beneath the surface, whether you are conscious of it or not. Okay, so if things seem to be slowing down, if things seem to have halted, just wait, just be patient. That's what Spirit is saying. November, and just the end of this year in general is going to require some patience, because with all this water in the sky, there are some things that are going to be slowed down, redirected, changed. But you have to trust that this change that may be slowly revealing itself is for the better. So I'm going to get a bottom of the deck energy. And what I have is share the gift. Share the gift. Okay, so share the gift, and it's in reverse. All right, Spirit wants us to share with each other. We all come to this life with gifts, and we'll use some of those gifts to make money with, to survive with, and other gifts we'll use to bring joy and creation and harmony to our lives and to others, right? It may not necessarily be monetary, or you might not get a house and a car from it, but you may get other things that you need with your gifts. So we all have some gifts that Spirit wants us to tap into in the month of November, and to just be open and vulnerable enough to share them with the right people, with people who are energetically and equally yoked with us. Okay, don't be afraid to open up this month, but be selective. Okay, not everybody is worthy of your gifts. Okay, so just because Spirit is saying yes, open up, share your gifts, that doesn't mean share them with everybody. That's what I'm getting as well. But yes, so we have some beautiful energies, beautiful messages, just reminding us, opening up this month of November, to have patience, to just trust in the unseen, trust in the unknown, trust the process, but also, while we're doing that, to just remain open and vulnerable to the people around us and the people in our life. So you guys, you can see we've made it towards the nighttime. Okay, so I hope that the lighting is okay. We got in a little welcoming message, but I still would like to just talk to you a little bit more about that divine feminine essence that is reawakening and trying to flow through you and trying to communicate things to you that maybe you didn't realize was important, or maybe you were refusing to pick up the call, but it's time to realize that call is coming from inside the house. It's time to answer the phone. So in 2024, I did a love reading on the collective, and I will give you a brief summary here. I basically split apart the masculine and feminine, and I asked Spirit, I said, can we get a message of what the divine masculine needs of people who identify as men or masculine or whatever? And I did the same thing with the feminine, and we got some very interesting messages last year. If you want to go back and watch that video, it's only available on my Facebook page, but please tap into it, because those messages are still relevant. Everything that I say pretty much builds on top of each other. So if you're trying to master topics that I'm talking about in 2025, but you can't do the stuff that I talked about in 2024, then you're gonna have to start at square one. But with that being said, the biggest message for men and masculine people last year was to move from your heart space. Stop thinking you know everything. Sometimes our masculine energy wants to just be the authority on everything, but you actually be wrong though. So it's like, if you are an authority but you're wrong, what's the point in being the authority? Spirit has been working on that heart space since last year, especially with Jupiter being in Taurus, okay? But the message for femmes and women from last year's love reading was to stand on business, okay? And this was about being able to say no to the things that you don't want, the things that you don't deserve, and to be able to wait and stand on business for the things that you do. I'll be honest with you guys, even though I've been dibbling and dabbling and dating, and I have people that are interested in me, I've really just been kind of laying low, not really taking anybody too seriously, because I just feel like I am in that season. Let me just say, I am trying to let God surprise me. It's hard dating out here, okay? It's not for the weak, but it's also not for people who have standards and boundaries and who love themselves and know themselves. Yeah, you can't just be dating any and everybody, right? But that is the message from the divine feminine anyway, was that being able to say no is going to be your biggest help. It's funny how both of those sides are doing something different, right? And that points to the imbalance that we all are struggling with as a collective, right? There's some people in the collective who they can't say no. They can't reject what's not for them. They can't let go and wait long enough. They can't stand on business long enough to get something better, to meet better people, to meet better communities, better friends. They can't just be by themselves or not have as many friends, or go to the function. They can't do none of that. And so they are misaligning themselves with their true blessings, with their true abundance, and with their balanced heart space, simply because they cannot protect it. Okay? I want to know, is that you? Are you someone who struggles to protect your heart space? Are you people pleasing? The way to creating balance and better relationships is to be both open-hearted, to be able to listen to your heart, to be able to follow your heart, to be able to have space for your emotions and the shared emotions between you and other people, but also to know yourself. to be able to say no, to be able to have standards and boundaries. Okay? It's a both and. So you're not going to have a balanced heart space. You're not going to experience true heart healing and heart health if you're not doing both. Closing out the month of October, love topics started rising up around me, I noticed, and I even went live on TikTok, and I had spontaneous individuals ask me for a love reading, which I found was really interesting, but I always say love is spirituality's most popular topic, and if it's not love, it's money. And the thing is, actually both of them are linked together. So it's really, really important that if you want to tap into energies like abundance, wealth, pleasure, luxury, you've got to do that heart healing. You've got to balance that heart space, or else it's not just going to block your relationships, it's going to block your money too. So one interesting thing that came through in these love readings that I did on TikTok was communication in relationships. Okay, so be mindful that yes, we're stepping into the month of November. However, we still do have Libra transits, like Sun in Libra, and I'm sure there might be one more, but I didn't check my calendar before filming this, so I'm not sure which one, but I know the Sun will be in Libra until probably the 16th or 17th of November. So as you're moving through these emotions, as you're moving through these different energies, as you're leaning into your body, leaning into your ancestors, and leaning into I am one in a million, the divine feminine, letting her hold you gracefully, letting her care and nurture you. As you lean into that energy, you're still going to have to find a way to communicate. So communicating emotions, opening up, again, asking for help, asking for your needs to be met, it's going to create those windows of opportunity for healing. Now, I'm not saying that all requests will be granted, but what I mentioned on my TikTok live was that communication is a part of building better relationships. And so I want you, as you begin November, to examine your communication. See if you're over communicating something, or just you over communicate in general with whoever it may be, friends, family, a romantic partner, a lover. Are you over communicating, or are you under communicating? Are you not open enough? Are you not vocal enough? You're gonna have to examine your level of communication in order to aid you in healing that heart space. Okay, see, the heart comes right before the throat chakra, right? And so the openness starts here. If you are blocked here, you're probably going to be blocked here too, unless you're bitter or something like that, because usually people who are bitter and negative, they got the loudest voices, but it's really because there might be a broken heart lying underneath that loud voice. Okay, so that's going to be crucial in November, especially the first half. Examine your communication. Where do you need to check and balance the communication in your life so that you can have more ease, more grace, more care in your relationships? Imperfect doesn't mean unlovable. And perfect doesn't mean unaccountable. I have some quick spirit messages that I just want to drop off, and you take what resonates for you, okay? So I'm just going to fire off and see what we have in store, and then we're going to get into some more love topics, okay? Spirit says some of y'all need to take a hot bath, okay? A hot bath. Meaning you might need to add a little extra water to that, you know, maybe boil some separate water and add it into the bath. Or maybe you need to visit somewhere where there's a jacuzzi. You need to visit it's like there's something about hot water that's really important for the collective. It's a tool, it's a resource that is going to really help open us up, okay? I know, I'll tell you a personal story. The other day I took a really, really nice hot bath with like the scented Epsom salt, and I just melted because I didn't know how much I needed that moment of just like pure relaxation, okay? So like there's this energy, there's this message that I'm getting right now as I'm talking about this of detoxing, okay? Some of y'all might need to do a detox in November, okay? So maybe that's changing your diet. Maybe that is taking a break from being around certain people or intaking certain things, okay? Because we intake more than just food. That could also be doing some spiritual cleansing, okay? So some of you guys and some of us in the collective in November, we may need to do some spiritual cleansing, all right? And spirit is saying use hot water, okay? Hot water to clean your house, hot water to clean yourself. Yes, hot water is going to loosen up the filth, okay? Loosen up whatever is constricting you. Hot water is going to be a healing tool, detoxing. Spirit also says live a little, okay? Don't be afraid to have fun. You know, if you get invited to something, like, you know, we all know holiday season is here, so you know, if you get invited somewhere, like, don't be afraid to at least just show your face. Spirit says that you don't know what could happen. You don't know what kind of connections could come out of just showing your face, okay? But I will remind you guys about discernment, okay? So, you know, everything with balance, everything in moderation. As we talked about a little bit earlier, opening this video with those cards, sharing your gifts, but still being discerning, you know, about am I sharing my gifts or am I being used by this person, okay? So yes, Spirit, do you have anything else to share? Spirit is just saying be mindful, be mindful, be mindful, be mindful. Okay? And even more than being mindful, be considerate. Like, be able to put yourself in somebody else's shoes sometimes. Okay, that's going to help some of us get through this month. Another big thing about November is that this is a peak season for retrogrades, okay? We have a lot of retrogrades that are getting ready to end by the end of the year. But it's kind of like we have a Mercury retrograde, we've got Jupiter retrograde in a new sign, we've got Saturn still retrograde. I'm not sure if we have other retrogrades outside of those three, but you just need to know that the retrogrades are also going to have a really big impact on your November experience, okay? Maybe I'll make a separate video about that, because I'm really more so just focused on your heart, because that's really what this month is going to be about. It's going to really shed a spotlight on your heart, and if you are ready to release the things that don't serve you, that are blocking your next level of abundance, your next level of joy, your next level of peace, your next level of community, your next level of love, of truth, of authenticity. Yes,